She was the woman everyone admired, beautiful, graceful, and full of light. But love was her curse. The first man she chose became her tormentor, a drunkard and a wandering womanizer. Desperate and broken, she wandered into the forest. There beneath the blood moon, she met a powerful deity, one who offered her 3 chances to rewrite her fate. The chance one that she had chosen for herself, her husband stopped chasing women but started beating her. And the chance 2 she chose for herself, she married her childhood best friend, a gentle and kind man, everything she ever dreamt of, until death snatched him too soon, leaving her a widow at the edge of her youth. In the beautiful village of Umudunu, there lived a very beautiful girl named Akudo. Akudo is a very beautiful, tall, light-skinned girl. She was the beauty everyone wanted. The way she carried herself with pride. Her father, Maazi Ugo, loved his daughter greatly. He had promised Akudo that whosoever she brings as her husband, he was going to accept. Akudo was the only child he had after he lost his wife. Akudo was everything and more to her father. Akudo wasn't just a kind of woman who sits down and waits for everything to be done for her. Akudo loved to braid hair. Aside braiding hair, Akudo also loved to help the elderly. She was someone that everyone in the community spoke highly of. She carried herself with pride, but yet very, very caring. Most men in the village wanted Akudo to be their wife, but she was a very picky person. She didn't want to just give herself to whosoever wanted to get married to her. She wanted to study them and know who they were. Amongst these men was one of her very good friend, Okonta. Okonta is a childhood friend of the family. Okonta had always been close to Akudo, but Okonta wasn't very good with words. He was very reserved. Rather than saying the way he felt, he often gave gifts. But Akudo did not understand all those spells. She preferred a man to adore her with words, with gifts and so many others. You shouldn't just give her something and expect her to know the way you feel. Okonta barely said anything. He really loved Akudo. He loved her company. Whenever he went hunting, he always gave her the biggest bush rat, taking back home the smallest bush rat. He felt that whenever Akudo sees this, she was going to understand that he was attracted to her. But Akudo did not understand all those things because Okonta never made his feelings known. He never said anything. He always kept to himself. And even when she comes visiting, all they did was to smoke the bush rat, eat it with palm wine, and that was it. Whereas in this same beautiful village of Umudunu, there was this eligible bachelor, Azuka, the man everyone wanted as their husband. Azuka wasn't just rich, he had hectares of farmland. He had car. The only man that had car in the whole village of Umudunu. If Azuka decides to get married to anyone, that person was a made billionaire. Azuka had approached Akudo as he had heard great things about her. He had heard how beautiful she was. In and outside, she was the perfect definition of a homemaker. She was the perfect definition of a wife material, 1,000 yard. She had it all. She could cook, she could wash clothes, she could present herself well. With the little given to her, you would think she was made in wealth. Azuka studied Akudo for long, and gradually he found out that Akudo was a naive village girl. She just enjoyed the attention of the villagers, but knew little about socialization. And he made up his mind that he was going to get married to Akudo. The moment he started approaching Akudo, Akudo was a bit reserved, knowing fully well that he was rich, but she also told herself that she didn't want to get married to anyone that just comes for her. She wanted someone that really loves her. Azuka did everything to show that he loved Akudo, ranging from gifts, adoring her with words, perfume, whatsoever Akudo wanted. Azuka made it available ASAP. This made Akudo feel that Azuka was the right man for her. She was eager and ready to get married to Azuka. And it didn't take long. Akudo and Azuka got married in a very beautiful way. The wedding that everyone in Umudunu wanted to attend. The most eligible bachelor was getting married to the beautiful lady. Everyone thought that this marriage was a match made in heaven. Little did they know that things will not turn out the way they think. Because 2 years down the line, Akudo took in and gave birth to a very beautiful baby girl. The baby had a very beautiful white eyes. The one that when you see, it melts your soul. Akudo loved her daughter greatly. Her daughter Ndidi was everything to her. But after the birth of Ndidi, Azuka changed. Changed in ways no one could understand. Azuka started humanizing. He knew all the latest bar. He knew all the latest hotel. He knew every joint to meet the most beautiful girl in Umuduna. Akudo felt heartbroken, really bad, because she felt Azuka was the man for her. She really felt bad about this. Whenever she goes to the market, she hears people talk about her husband as if they were talking about a fool or a beggar. He was at the lips of every lady. He knew every lady. Akudo felt really bad, hot and tormented by Azuka's actions. Because not just that he was humanizing, he always came back home drunk. She asked herself, what was she going to do about this? Why was it that her husband couldn't just stick to her and her alone? And one fateful evening, when she was returning back from the village market, it was late at night. The moon felt red and hot, like as if the gods of the lands were angry. Akudo had encountered a very old woman who was struggling to return back to her hut. Even though it was late at night and Akudo had dropped her daughter with her father, she still insisted on helping this old woman, neglecting the time she was going to get back home for the day. When she got to the woman's hut, the woman looked at her and asked her, "What troubles you, my little one?" Akudo opened up to this old woman who she knew little about. And the moment she was done telling this woman her story, the woman had given her 3 stones and told her, "These 3 stones are like wishes for you. So every wish you make is going to come true. You have the chance to rewrite your destiny. You have the chance to rewrite your fate. Whatsoever you don't want to see in your home, or however you feel your home should be, this is your opportunity to change it. But the wishes cannot be made at once. You have to make it one after the other." And Akudo was very happy. She was excited. Finally, a breakthrough was coming for her. So she quickly wished that her husband should stop womanizing and be a loving husband. And when she went back home that day, she had a peaceful dinner with her daughter and went to bed. The next day, her husband returned earlier than he used to. There was no woman around him, but he kept on drinking. He did not change his ways from drinking. Akudo made up her mind that since her husband can stop womanizing, then she was going to use the opportunity to make another wish, being that he was going to stop drinking. But little did she know that her husband was going to start beating her, because whenever he returns back drunk, he was going to pounce on her, beat her mercilessly in front of their daughter Ndidi. Akudo felt bad. Akudo felt heartbroken. She did not know what to do. What was going on in her life? What was going on in her marriage? Her marriage was barely how many years? And her husband Azuka was a living hell. He was tormenting her life and destiny. And it didn't take long. Akudo journeyed back to the hills close to the market. She wanted to meet this deity she had met. And she quickly made another request, another wish. But rather than sticking with Azuka, she wished she had not even gotten married to Azuka. She wished that everything could return back to when she was still a maiden in her father's house. To which her wish was granted. And it didn't take long. She gradually understood the feelings of Okonta, her dearly beloved childhood friend. She noticed that Okonta really cherished her, but wasn't good with words. So she was glad the moment Okonta asked to get married to her. Akudo loved and enjoyed her home. Okonta was a perfect definition of a husband. He cared for her. He listened to her. He cherished her above any other thing. There was nothing lacking in their home. Food, it was in quantum. Okonta adored his wife. Akudo was really excited. She was glad that she made the best decision ever in order to rewrite her fate. But one fateful day, while Okonta was hunting, he was attacked by an animal, and Okonta died at the spot. The news of Okonta's death reached Akudo's ears, and she couldn't stop wailing. Why was nature being wicked? What did she ever do wrong? Why is it that she had gotten the best husband and all of a sudden he passed away at the age of her youth? She was barely 29. How could her husband just leave her like that? How could her husband vanish from the surface of the earth? The perfect definition of a husband. Why was this world being unfair to her? So with her first husband being a drunkard, a womanizer, and a woman beater, and her second chance led her to marry her childhood friend, only to watch him die, leaving her a young widow. Now, with one final chance left, the question remains, will love save her or destroy her completely? Please, I'd like you to drop your thoughts in the comment section while we wait for the part 2 of the story. We're still remain your favorite storyteller, Zika. Please and please do not forget to like, subscribe, share our stories to your loved ones. So we'll see you again in our next story. Bye for now.